Probably when my best friend at the time, I'm not gonna say her name, but my best friend at the time, she told me that I was toxic, manipulating, and self-absorbed after I was already going through a hard time because my grandma was dying, and she like just said all these horrible things to me, and then at school she apologized, and then she uploaded something saying that she meant none of it and that I deserved everything that she said and that I deserve way worse. And my family helped me through it, my grandpa especially, and my friends helped me through it a lot, and I was able to move on from her.
I think the most difficult thing I went through was I was bullied in middle school, which sometimes sounds silly because middle school is like nothing. It's the smallest sliver of your life, you know? But I just like really struggled with like my own personal like image and like who I wanted to be. And I'm LDS, so I really struggled with stuff like that. I really questioned for a long time. And there was a really hard moment in my life where I just thought no one cared about me at all. And it pushed me to like think about what it'd be like to like just end it all, which is difficult to like say. But it really put into perspective when my grandma passed away, because it was right around that time. I just realized like how much people missed her and cherished her in her life, but how happy it was that she was gone, which is weird to say, like, but she went away peacefully, and everyone's just happy that she got to be around as long as she did. So it's just like a really like heartfelt moment, because it made me realize like, oh, I do want to live. I do want to like be happy and have people around me when I do pass away, like when my time does come, and I don't want to end it early. So definitely opening up to my parents was how I overcame that. And it was around the time my grandma passed away, because we were just having like a heartfelt moment with my family in the living room, and it just kind of all unraveled.
For me, it was probably sexual assault and not being able to tell anybody about it, because I was nervous about what people would think and if people would even believe me. And yeah.
And how did you get through it?
Well, told my dad about it, and then we went from there.
Okay. As a dad, how did you get through it?
It was tough. Like, it's like, did I fail her as a father? Not that I allowed it to happen. I wouldn't allow that to happen to anybody, or my own child, anybody's child. I felt like it's definitely a vicious cycle in our life that people go through, where how do you now protect your kid from that again and make more awareness? Hey, not every kid's intentions are what you think they are. There's always like, there might be hidden agendas behind why you guys are hanging out. And then, you know, when it's quiet and no one's around, this kid could take advantage of you. So at the end of the day, let's learn how to like protect yourself. You know, how to say no. You know, if the person keeps going, punch him in his nose, and like take off running, punch him in the throat. Not that like, hey, violence is gonna answer everything, but that's considered self-defense. But yeah, it was tough, and I felt like for me, it ate me up for a couple of years after, you know. It still does bother me. There's like the kid that did it, like he listens to The Weeknd. And I remember him listening to The Weeknd. I used to like The Weeknd. Now, every time a Weeknd song comes on, I change it. And I'm like, hey, Spotify, don't ever play this song again. You know, just something like that. And at the end of the day, I hope like on his end, he seeks help and he's not doing that to other people. Or he's like, hey man, I have a problem. I need to go find some therapy for it. So yeah.
The most difficult thing for me was probably being able to stay in contact with him for a while. It was kind of difficult through all of our process, so it got hard to see him, but we eventually were able to meet each other again, and we saw each other.
Yeah, as my sister said, Gabby, I think, to be honest, finding each other again, because we had a rough childhood and we got into huge arguments and stuff like that. I haven't talked to her for a while, and then we're coming back and talking and getting what we didn't have in our childhood, and we're trying to build that connection again.
So the follow-up question to that is, what prompted you to reconnect?
I don't know, I felt like after losing our parents, our birth parents, together, like we went through that together, and not having her there was hard, personally hard for me, because she was there when everything happened, and that's why I want to rebuild that connection with her, because she's my best friend, my sister.
I mean, this is kind of a stupid answer, but I was in this long relationship in middle school. We dated for I think a year and a half, and that breakup really shaped who I was. After, I feel like I kind of went crazy, and my 14-year-old self with those hormones went off the rails, and I got really depressed for a really long time, for about a year. And I think that really shaped who I was, because I found joy in like being alone, and I think that's when great things come to you. So.
Yeah, so for me, I would say mental health. I know a lot of people can struggle with mental health, especially from a young age. You know, as you start to grow older, you realize who you are as a person. I think that for me, growing up, like mental health was hard, but I feel like the things that I've been through have made me who I am today. You know, like I used to be very shy, but I feel like now I'm outgoing, and I feel like the things that I've been through have like reflected off of that. But I'm glad that I went through hard things, and I'm glad that I did have hard times, because then I feel like it wouldn't have made me, you know, like outgoing, or it wouldn't have made me like view life how I do now. So I would say, yeah, like mental health. And I know that I'm not the only one, you know, I know there's other people. So another thing is that I always think to myself, even if I'm having like a bad day, I'm having a bad day, I don't have a bad life. I know there's people out there who have it a lot worse, and I always remind myself that there's people that are battling, per se, cancer. There's people who are battling, you know, with parental struggles and things like that. You know, there's a lot worse. So in my own personal life, I think it's more of the fact of like, if I'm having a bad day, I have a bad day, not a bad life. So I think it just made me view things like that.
I felt like it's me getting through like depression and all the grief and all the trauma that I went through. Even though I've tried to kill myself a couple times, and I've seen like in our generation, a lot of us have the same story. We've all went through the same thing. We've all so it made me, in a way, it opened my eyes to show me like it's okay, like stay here another day. For that reason, because like you said, you tell your story. Everybody has a story. Everybody has something to say. You tell your story, you can inspire millions of people. Everybody listen to your story, it's gonna make them think like, I should stay another day. I should change. I should be a better person. I should want to be a better person for myself. So
what made you realize that?
When you just like go through so much, and like I know people are gonna understand me from this, when you go through so much and you have so much said about you, and you have so much input on like from what other people think about you, it don't make me think about it. It just makes me like, it's like, you know, you gotta show the world better. You gotta prove people wrong. You gotta show them like, this is not however you think or say or whatever you do, that's not me. I'm a bigger, better person than that. But I'm not changing for you, I'm changing for myself. So.
It's pretty weird, but to me, it's really like the struggle of like having consistent emotions. I feel like I tend to like spike, certain ways, or like I'll be fine 1 second and I kind of veer off, like, off the road into a different direction. And to me, one thing that I've really helped like overcome that is just like finding weird things in your life that you can like, I don't know, it's like having things in my life I can like can stay consistent, like hobbies, like interests, stuff like that. Like adding things in my daily routine that make me happy as a person. So I play football, so I love playing football. I love working out. I was like spending time with my cats, watching movies, listening to music, just like stuff like that, where it's like I can depend every single day, like this thing will be the same. Like I can keep that consistent, and that makes me happy because it's something I can't control, right? Whereas sometimes like with your emotions, you can't always control it. It's like one thing will spike you some way, one other thing will spike you like the opposite way. So it's just kind of like keeping things in my life that like, like hobbies, interests, it's like that kind of stuff.
The most difficult is probably not being the oldest sibling that had no parents at first. Because now I see that my brother and sister are growing up. They don't have their dad, and I know that they feel some type of way about it, and it's like impacting them. So I feel like me being there, I have to also help parent them, just because my mom just came into their life too. So she's still learning how to be a parent, so I'm still trying to teach them. And I grew up trying to figure out how I'm supposed to make money and how to get in school and do all that by myself without any parents. So I feel like that's the hardest part, because I had to help teach them and help teach my mom how to be a parent too.
While you also like an adult trying to figure out your life.
Figure out my life, but also trying to help them figure out their life and help my mom get her life together. So that's the hardest.
That's also another thing that I feel like this generation struggles with. We struggle with like our parents not being in our life, but our parents still actively being there but not helping us out. So as we grow older, we don't know certain things, or we have to teach ourselves certain things. And I don't like how, because I go through that, I don't like when my parents complain. Like my mom, she's been more like, she's been more understanding and here for me, but it's like, when it comes to my dad, it's not really a lot of support, and like, it's more of like downfall and just thinking I'm not have my head right and I'm not doing nothing right, when it's like, y'all didn't teach me nothing, none of this adult stuff. Honestly, like I went to a different school. I had to go to I got kicked out of regular high school, so I had to go to a continuation school. And they taught me a lot. They taught me about credit scores and this and how to get a house and I didn't know none of that. If my parents didn't teach me nothing, that school didn't teach me how to do none of that, I wouldn't have known nothing. So it's like, it's hard as a young adult, and you have to figure out everything for yourself.
Yeah. How did you get through it? She just explained that she had help for school. How are you getting through it?
I actually got myself into school because I met my best friend. Me and my best friend are like close. We're like sisters, and we'd be helping each other. So I started going into school because of her. She pushed me. I ended up going to school with her for a while. And then I did mess it up. So then I stopped going. And now I'm currently trying to go into school again because she told me about like a no-cost situation. So now I'm gonna go back to school, but I'm basically slowly getting through it. I'm still getting through it at the moment, but.
Well, when I was in elementary school, like I was saying, I had like my whole friend group. It was very wonky, and it was horrible. Like now that I think about it, just like the friend group that I was in, the way that everyone made me feel, it was horrible. Like the dynamics, everything was bad. We would all just talk so badly about each other, and I feel like my goodness as a person just like lowered as everyone else's did, because we all did horrible things. I did a bunch of things that I totally regret. And so I think it was really difficult, especially being so young. I think it was really difficult to talk to people and really understand that what was happening to me, like the situation that I was in, friendships aren't supposed to feel like that. And that I'm not a bad person, because I really did think I was a bad person, because I did things that were bad. And I thought I was a really bad person, and so I kind of like didn't like myself. And I don't know, my self-worth is just so low. But then when I met her, I feel like it all changed, because I don't know, like I said before, she really like showed me what friendships are supposed to feel like. And it was really hard to get through because for the longest time I thought that friendships were supposed to like just drain you and like make you cry every day, but they're not. That's a little tip.
Probably not the most difficult time, but a difficult thing that happened was just like me moving, because I lived in Hawaii until I was like 11, and then I just recently moved here. And it was like a very big change for me because I've never like experienced like such a big change. But once I got like comfortable, and like I think it's very good to know how to like adapt to change and how to know like you're okay, and like you can just like how to adapt to change is like a good thing to know. And I think I really learned a lot from like moving and like being in two different like environments that were very different, but also like I can see similarities between them, and just like, yeah, just knowing how to like adapt was a good life lesson.
The most difficult thing is like if you get in trouble, like admitting, or like if you've done something bad that like you regret doing, like admitting to your parents like what you've done. And I just like you feel like guilty about like what you did. So like what helped me like go through that was just like accepting what I did. Like you live life once, like we make mistakes, like we're kids. So it's like that just helped me.
For me, it'd probably be my dad getting diagnosed with cancer. Yeah.
And how did you get through that?
You know, just try to keep a positive attitude, and, you know, being able to talk to people, not suppressing what I was thinking or whatever.